Hi everyone, my name is Ayush Sridhar, and this is my Chapter 9 presentation on space commercialization, specifically how SpaceX, run by Elon Musk, is slowly taking over the world. So, starting off with SpaceX's humble beginnings, it started off as a simple project to build an inexpensive and reusable rocket that could enter space multiple times. Elon Musk was the founder of this in 2002, and just like how airlines could be used to get from one place to another and used over and over, he wanted to accomplish the same thing with space travel. And as it grew, SpaceX gained a lot of attention when it became the second company to launch a rocket into orbit only using private funding rather than funding from the government. And the government, as we know, has a lot of money, so the fact that they were able to do this was a pretty big accomplishment. And on top of being the second private company to launch a rocket into orbit, SpaceX also became the first private company to send a satellite into geosynchronous orbit towards the end of 2013. So that was also a big accomplishment by SpaceX because no other private company has done this before. And little did people know, SpaceX would soon become an international superpower whenever it came to space travel. Since the founding of SpaceX in 2002, the company has developed three families of rocket engines, not just rockets, but rocket engines. The Merlin and Crystal were for launch vehicle propulsion to break through the Earth's gravity, and the Draco RCS were the control thrusters for whenever the rocket reached outer space. And currently, SpaceX is developing two further rocket engines, which are the Super Draco and the Raptor. The Super Draco being a basically upgraded version of the Draco RCS, and the Raptor being a completely new rocket engine. SpaceX has also flown several orbital launch vehicles, such as the Falcon 1, the Falcon 9, and the Falcon Heavy. And as you can see from this graph, the number of launches a year that SpaceX has completed has grown exponentially from 2006 to 2019. Here we have a little diagram of all the rockets that SpaceX has built. As you can see, the Falcon 1 is a lot smaller compared to the Falcon 9. And as they upgraded the Falcon 9, it also got bigger, where you can see that in the V1.1 and the Falcon 9 V1.2, which was the final Falcon 9 build. And then as you can see, the Falcon Heavy has two additional thrusters, obviously making it a lot more heavy, which is where it gets its name from, but that one is also a lot bigger. Now, on top of SpaceX building these rocket engines and these rockets, SpaceX also has a program called Starlink. And Starlink is a satellite internet constellation operated by SpaceX, providing satellite internet access coverage to 40 countries. It also aims for global mobile phone service after 2023. And SpaceX started launching Starlink satellites in 2019. And now, in March of 2022, 1,919 Starlink satellites are currently orbiting the Earth, according to the site SpaceX Stats, which uses SpaceX API data. This means that SpaceX has increased the number of its internet satellites by over 185% in the past 18 months, which is absolutely absurd considering Starlink only began in the middle to the end of 2019. And now they almost have 2,000 satellites in orbit. In the United States, Starlink is expected to provide high-speed internet to the approximately 60 million people living in rural and remote areas, mostly in the Midwest. And in the rest of the world, too, the company founded by Elon Musk is likely to have its sights set primarily on areas with poor broadband connections. The latest application of the Starlink system has been to provide internet access to Ukraine and Ukrainian civilians during the Russian invasion, which happened earlier this year. Now, on top of this, the SpaceX value today is skyrocketing. The stock is getting a lot more expensive. SpaceX is in talks about offering of mostly secondary shares that could value the company up to 150 billion US dollars, representing a 20% increase in valuation. And one of the world's most valuable private companies, it has also provided liquidity programs for employees and early investors so they can sell their shares in the secondary market without the company going public, which is a huge accomplishment for a private company. The valuation is still fluid at any share sale plan, which requires SpaceX's approval, could still change. In February 2021, Elon Musk said that it is now worth a whopping $74 billion, and SpaceX raised $850 million of new capital by selling private stocks to investors. And that is my presentation on SpaceX's supremacy in space commercialization.